For example, example number 1, if I have def student info and then take the print of my name is Moein and then print of I study Python and then student info. When you run this program in the Colab, you will get my name is Moein, I study Python. Now when you look back to the definition, from defined function we mean that the function must be specified, must be meaningful, must be clear. So student info is meaningful. It's pretty clear from its name that it is the information of the student. Student info, it is the information of the student, so it has been specified. Everyone understand that student info means student information, so it has to be meaningful. The name has to be meaningful. Def student info and then put parentheses and then colons, press the enter button, your new line will start from here. Then you have to include the print function. What is print function? Print function is the built-in function, and then you can write any statement here like print of my name is Moein. You can add one more print function, print of I study Python. You can add one more print function, one more print function. It is up to you. And then at the end you have to repeat the same defined function here, student info with the parentheses, but this time don't include the colons, without colons. Now look at here how this program works, how it operates. When you put student info here, when you run it, first we call this student info. The program starts execution from here. So we call student info. As we call the student infos, it automatically goes to the first line here, student info. And then whatever we have below the student info, it will be executed. But make sure with the print function is the built-in function. So if you remember, by calling the def function, a statement inside the print function built-in will be executed, which actually means that by calling this def function, the statement, what is statement? My name is Moein, I study Python. These are the statements. The statements inside the print function, which are built-in functions, will be executed by calling the def function. So once you call the student info, it starts operation from here. It goes up and check the student's info. The defined function must be the same. If you put student info, you have to put student info. You can't put something else here. So as it goes up, it executes and then take the print of these statements. So that's why we have my name is Moein, I study Python. If you have one print function, you're gonna have only one line. If you have two print functions, you're gonna have two print statements. If you have three print functions, you're gonna have 3 lines here, 3 lines. So it is up to you. You can include multiple print functions, but the operation way is different. We first call this, we go from below, we call here, and then it goes up, it executes, and then it takes the print of these statements. So this is going to be the output. We got the output from print function by calling the defined function. Example number 2. Define student info, print of my name is Moein, print of I study Python, student info. Let me include one print function here, print of beginning, and then let me add one more print function, print of the end. So when you run it, you will get this output, beginning, and then my name is Moein, and then I study Python, and then the end. I took the same example. I have defined a function with the name student info, and then I have two print functions, print of my name is Moein, print of I study Python, and then I put a defined function here. Make sure it is better to have a space between this part and this part. So I put student info here, and then what I did, I just randomly include one more print function above this defined function, which is print of beginning, and then added one more print function here below the defined function, print of the end. So when you run it, the first line is the beginning, and then the defined function will activate. You will get my name is Moein, I study Python, and then the ending print function. Now you will be confused that why we don't have first these two statements, why we have beginning. Look at here. If you include print function before the defined function here, this will be the first statement that will be printed in the output. Because remember, we already know that defined function starts execution from here, from here, not from here. First we call here. So the first call which is received by the defined function is here, not here. So it goes step by step. This print function is before the defined function. Therefore, it comes first. And then at the second stage, the defined function comes. Now we call the defined function here. It goes up and then take the print of these two statements. My name is Moein, I study Python. And then at the end, we have the ending statement, which is the end, because this print function is after the defined function. So first this statement will be printed here, and then the defined function activates, it executes, and then the ending print function print off the end. So there we got the ending statement. I hope you got the point now. So let me repeat it again. We have a defined function here, defined with a specified meaningful name, which is student info. It's pretty clear from its name that we have the information of the students. So I included two print functions here. Print of my name is Moein, print of I study Python. And then I put a space here. And then I include one more print function here. Print of beginning, and then the defined function student info. And then the ending print function print of the end. So we already know that defined function operates from here. It receives the very first call here, not here, here. At this point, we call the defined function from here. So look at here, this print function is before the defined function here. First, this print function will be executed. It comes first, and then the call will be received by the defined function. So once the call received by the defined function, once we call the defined function, it goes up, and look at here, it activates, it operates, it executes, and then under this statement, we have another two built-in functions. Print of my name is Moein, print of I study Python. So the statements inside these two built-in print functions will be printed here in the output. And then I have one more print function, print of the end, which comes after the defined function. This will be the ending. This will be the ending statement. So we will have the end. So I hope it is clear now that how the defined function operates and from where it operates, how it executes. It is a step-by-step process.